Ooh, baby, it is module number 6. This is the last module in phase 2, which is all about self-control. And today we are talking about owning opportunity. I am very excited for this module because once you really start to practice this concept, it's a complete and total game changer. It's how I'm able to be so optimistic and just not kind of beaten down by anything. It's literally because of what you're going to be learning in this module, and it is truly the ultimate form of self-control and at the same time such freedom from circumstance or whatever you're feeling or any of those things. So I'm super pumped. Let's go ahead and dive in. And as we do, of course, make sure you are taking notes. Take them intuitively, as we always talk about. I'm just going to remind you at the beginning of all of these. But, anything that stands out to you, anything that resonates with you, please jot it down because that means that it's important for you. It's something we're going to actually talk about in this module, but it means that, there's something there for you. So go ahead and jot it down. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about owning opportunity, because what I want you to do with this module is practice seeing literally everything as an opportunity, because everything is. Sometimes we can feel very defeated, and especially when you're in that mindset with the bad, where you are struggling and it feels very fixed and it feels like nothing is in your control, everything's not going your way, and even with anxiety, everything's so chaotic, right? It can feel like, oh, there's no opportunity here. There's nothing here. It's a complete dead end. And the way I want to help you see this is with a little analogy, right? So if you are driving a car, right? If you're car analogies, ooh, it's coming back. But if you are driving a car and you reach, this point in the road where you see this dead end sign, there's wood planks up and everything, and you have to stop your car there, and you're like, oh, I've hit a dead end. Okay, that's it. What do you then do when you hit that dead end? Do you just sit there and you turn off your car and then you just spend the rest of your days at that dead end and then eventually you die? No, that's not what happens. You back up, you turn your car around, and you find a different way, right? There is literally no such thing as a dead end. Something led you there. You can backtrack and you can find another way. There's no such thing as a dead end. Literally everything is a detour, and that is what having this perspective about opportunity is all about. It's about seeing something that might look like a dead end, that might be like game over, it's fixed, it's done, I can't do anything, and actually flipping that on its head and saying, no, there's an opportunity here, and I'm gonna find it, right? You can make it a game and be like, there's an opportunity here. Challenge accepted. You could be tired. You could have been driving for 2 days and you're like, oh, I hit this dead end. This really sucks. I'm not happy about this. This is really frustrating. This was supposed to take me where it needed to go. Let that out. Feel that. That's okay. Then find the opportunity. Okay? So, again, I want to reiterate this. What we deem as a positive or negative thing, right, is established through all of that conditioning that we talked about in Reclaimed Mind and Body, right? Societal, family, the people that we're around, right? We tend to take on those beliefs of what's positive or negative. And the reason I'm positiving and negativing with the quotings is because what's positive to one person could be negative to another person. So it's very relative, those terms. And you can even look at it as, does this make me expand? Does this make me excited? Does this make me expand? Or does this make me contract and shut down and recoil, right? So you can look at it in whatever lens works for you, but I want you to know that it's not set in stone what is positive and negative or expansive or contractive, okay? It's completely relative to you. One person can be terrified of snakes and another person can think that they're the sweetest babies on the planet, okay? Doesn't mean anybody's wrong. It doesn't mean anybody's right. It's just where they're at. So that's just conditioning. And what I want you to do is to feel more like a problem solver than anything, no matter what the situation is, okay? And this is literally the entire, and this is before I knew about seeing things as opportunities, but this is the entire premise for how I beat bipolar anxiety and depression in the first place. Did it take me a very long time? Yes. Are you getting a shortcut? Yes, because you're here. But, when nothing felt like it was working, and I was finally tired of being defeated by that, I was like, I'm going to figure out how to be happy. That's when my brain switched into problem solver mode. I was so done. I was like, I'm going to figure out how to be happy. And we get to apply that in so many things in our lives, right? So I want you to start getting into that curious problem solver mentality, because I don't ever want you to feel stopped or stuck. That doesn't help us feel like we are in control. It makes us feel helpless and hopeless and victimized. And that's not where I want you to be, because that's where the bad's like, woo, party! We don't want that. We don't want to go to that party. We want to be like, I found the exit and I'm leaving. So anytime you're in a situation that feels very stuck or feels very hopeless or feels very all of those things, ask yourself, what's the opportunity here? What is this an invitation for? Maybe you're feeling really swamped by your emotions. What is this an invitation for? Is this an invitation for me to maybe practice the things that I've learned a little more? Could I put it into practice? Okay, this could be an invitation for that. This could be an opportunity for that. If one thing's not working, if one thing's not working, is it an opportunity to find maybe how it could work another way? If I can't solve a problem with this one type of formula, can I find another formula to solve a similar problem, right? You get to start asking questions and challenging things in a really positive, in a really beneficial way, okay? That's what this is all about. This is about having the self-control to never, ever feel trapped no matter what the circumstance. And, I can only clearly speak from my experience, but I know that there are so many people in so many other experiences and expressions of life that, this applies to. And you can take my word on that or not, but I feel like there's just so many opportunities. Like, I'm going to go this far because I feel like, more people need to be heard, but if you are feeling like I am always so inspired when I hear stories about people that maybe, have lost a limb or have birth defects, and they overcome those because they see the opportunity and they don't let that hold them back. I remember being blown away at seeing a photographer that had no arms and no legs. I'm sorry, I think it was at the elbow, but no arms, no legs, and was still holding a camera and taking photos, and it blew my, I was like, yes, yes, that's what we need more of in this world. I know that when the Black Lives Matter, movement came to a forefront, in mid 2020, that for me, I saw that as, what is this an opportunity here? What is this an opportunity for me? What is this the invitation for me? And I know for me, that was very much of, I can educate myself more. I can use my voice more. I can speak up more. I can change, myself and also change other things and in turn change the world. It's part of the reason why Beat the Bad got an update, because I decided to see it as an opportunity, and I was like, I want this to be a program that not only instills love in ourselves, but also instills the love and respect we can have for other people. Because when that happens, there isn't so much tension and conflict, because we're willing to listen and we're willing to learn and we're willing to be open and we don't have to defend ourselves, right? So same thing for someone who, identifies in their own way or loves in a way that's different to you, right? What's the opportunity? If somebody lashes out at you, what might be the opportunity? To educate them? Could the opportunity be to make space from them? could the opportunity be to reaffirm to yourself that this is who I am, and it doesn't matter if that person has a different opinion or if they feel a certain way on this topic? This expands so far, my friends. My friend. I keep forgetting I'm just talking to you. I'm so used to the podcast. The opportunity here is to remember I'm just talking to you. Oh my goodness. But that's where, we can treat this in a sense like a game. We can bring a little fun and a little light into this. Like, what's my opportunity? Because I think too, when it's, we don't want to add more pressure to ourselves. Like, what's the opportunity here? What is it? Figure it out. That's not fun. That's not exciting. Nobody wants to find the opportunity in that because it's terrifying. So, put this into practice. Anytime you feel stuck, anytime you feel defeated, anytime you feel those things, this is where you get to start to play with the opportunity, because that puts you massively in control, because you never get to be controlled by anything happening outside of you. And that's self-empowerment at its finest. And the bad can't thrive in that, because you are looking towards light, towards hope, towards positivity, towards optimism, right? You're not feeling stuck. Fear doesn't feed there, because you have chosen to open up the possibilities and also put into practice trusting yourself and pursuing one of those other possibilities, right? So this is game changing. Like, opportunity to me is like right up there with the gratitude nuggets, and maybe I need to think of like a fun opportunity phrase, but I'll get there. I'll get there. So I want to give you, I just gave a bunch of examples, but I want to give you a few examples from my own life, because these are a few from different situations where I really put it into practice, and it was like, it was literally life-changing. And so the first example I want to give you is when I was at the tail end of beating bipolar anxiety and depression, I was having what I was labeling monthly meltdowns, is what I was calling them. So I had really good self-control. I was handling my emotions really well. And then once a month, I would just crack and I would lose everything. I would just cry, and I'd be scared, and I'd be terrified and worried and anxious, and like literally all of the things compounded into one. And I decided to take a moment, because I wasn't choosing to, this is something we will talk about in Module 7, but because I wasn't choosing to identify at that point with being bipolar, which was my primary label, even though I was dealing with all three, I was definitely labeling myself as bipolar, because I decided not to just use that as a crutch and be like, well, I'm having monthly meltdowns because I'm still bipolar, right? I decided to see the opportunity. I was like, okay, I'm having these monthly meltdowns. What's the opportunity here? Like, what can I, what is this the invitation for? And I realized the invitation was to look at my life and look at what I was doing day to day. And I noticed for myself that I was very busy. I was raising 2 kids. I was not getting enough sleep. I was staying up really late. I was running, this is when I had my jewelry business, and I was YouTubing. I was running a blog. I was making jewelry. I was selling that jewelry. I was delivering and shipping that jewelry. I was doing markets. I have so much going on. And I was like, you're stressed. You're freaking stressed. And so the opportunity was for me to readjust my daily life and take things off my plate, so that I could not have those monthly meltdowns. And lo and behold, that was my ticket into beating the bad, because I decided to take control and not just chalk it up to I'm having monthly meltdowns. And I made some adjustments, and because I was willing to look at it as an opportunity and as an invitation. And so I stopped having those monthly meltdowns, and now, ta-da, I'm here. So that's a really powerful thing to do. Another example is, Jim got a job offer in Denver, and we had to sell our house in a month. We had a home in Florida, and we had to literally sell it, pack up our stuff, and move within a month. And everybody told me it wasn't going to be possible. They were like, you're probably going to have to let him move, and then, we also had to find a place to live. But they were like, you're going to have him move, and then you're going to probably have to stay behind with the kids. My family has moved a lot. I've moved over like 30 times in my life. And so everyone was like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. And I was like, I was like, what's the opportunity here? How can I make this happen? And throughout that whole process, I was very determined to get this all done in a month. And so through that, every time I hit an obstacle, I literally would be like, what's the opportunity here? How can we make this happen? How can I detour this? And I accepted support. I got help when people would give it. My parents offered to take the kids so we could pack up the house. I was like, yes, I appreciate your support. Take them. I didn't feel like I had to control the whole situation and do all the things. I also had to take action in some instances. Somebody was supposed to come and manicure the front lawn so we could do photos the next day, and they didn't show up. And so I was like, what's the opportunity here? The opportunity is I can go out there and I can actually get this done so we can take those photos and get this on the market. And so many times, again, people were not believing in that it could be done, and so there was plenty of opportunity to believe that this could happen and to make this happen and to really be determined to have that happen. So you can see how even one instance can be made up of all these different little things. And we pulled it off. It happened. Because I was very, I had that opportunity mentality where I didn't let anything stop me. I was a problem solver the whole way through. And you get to be that too. And whether that's sitting back, accepting support, or taking action, or just believing, it comes in so many different forms. And the last example I will give you is my my book, Back to Happy, which initially was a course. It was like a it was like 5 courses, 5 short email courses that I had written, and I put it out there, and everyone was super excited about it, and nobody bought it. And I was like, okay. You put your heart and soul into something, and then it's like, it doesn't happen the way you think. And that can be really defeating, and that can be like, well, I'll just throw it away then. But I was like, what's the opportunity here? And so I decided to ask for feedback, and I said, hey, do you guys like courses more, or do you guys like books more? And overwhelmingly, people said books. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to turn this into a book. And I did that, and they're still selling to this day. That was years ago. So this is where you get to kind of see opportunity, that opportunity mentality put into practice over and over. It opens up so many doors, and you don't have to wait for anybody to open those doors for you. You simply go and open them yourself just by having that perspective. So this is a habit within itself. You hear me talking about habits all the time, but seeing opportunity is a habit within itself. And so I will suggest that you can start with the opportunity journal. Here, let me grab it. I'll show you. But I have this opportunity journal. It was something that was originally just like a Word document, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and publish it, make it into a book, and it is game-changing. It really is about building the habit of having this perspective. This, if you choose to use it, it's completely optional, but this will help you have this practice become kind of second nature a lot faster, and you'll be able to apply it in any situation, kind of how I just habitually, automatically, subconsciously, right, apply this to literally everything that comes up for me. But basically, and you can see at the beginning, I'll walk you through exactly how to use it, but you're really intentional, you list out goals. I talked about this in the other module. You get to see how you spent your energy. It's a morning and evening journal. But you get to reflect. So you get to be really intentional with, how can I move closer to a goal? How can I show myself kindness? What's something that might throw me off today? And then also, what's something helpful I learned? What's something I'd like to improve upon? It just brings awareness to your whole day, and it's massively, massively helpful. So if you need some support with turning that into a habit, I want you to know that the link for this will be in the module description. So that is there for you. I want you to know that I got you the whole way, and you can got yourself by doing that journal. Okay, so let's walk through. I still have a framework for you, even though the journal's great. I do still have a framework for you to apply. So let's go ahead and walk through it really quick, and then we will wrap this module up and wrap up phase 2, which is freaking awesome that you've gotten this far. Go you! Okay, so the framework I want to walk you through is open to opportunity, and we are going to be breaking apart the word open because because. So we want to be open to opportunity, right? So the O is going to be own what's happening. Okay, be honest about the current situation, about how you're feeling. That analogy that I gave you with the dead end, where it's like, yeah, this sucks. I don't want to be here. I'm tired. I don't want to have to turn around and figure out another way. You can be totally honest about how you're feeling and what's happening. We don't need to repress that. We don't need to dismiss that. That's very, that's real, very real for you. And so to acknowledge it is very healthy. So go ahead and just own what's happening so that you can go ahead and move forward. And then we move into the P, which is appreciate, because I really wanted to use this word. So appreciate, which is basically just to have appreciation, have gratitude. You can see, like, that's where you get to kind of make that switch from, yeah, this sucks, or this is the reality of it, to, okay, well, I'm grateful that this is happening because now I get to go in and see an opportunity, right? So you get to kind of be real about it, but then get kind of positive about it, and then go into E, which is explore opportunity. And that's where you get to, ask those questions. What's the opportunity here? What is this an invitation for? And then start to move forward from there. You get to kind of explore that mentally, and then you get to act upon it physically by taking actions. And that leads you into the N, which is next step. So take the next step towards that opportunity. And that might be something that is a physical step, or it is a mental step. It could be either or. So, just make sure that you are taking that next step and not just being like, yep, that's the opportunity, but I'm going to go the other way and just completely ignore it. Let's not do that, okay? Because that's not beneficial. So, own what's happening, appreciate, explore opportunity, and take the next step. Oh, kids busting out the room right at the end of the module. Hold on, I'm almost done.
I'm meeting a party, all of us.
Go for it. Go for it. You can go for it. You're free to go. I'm going to own this opportunity to end this module and be super real and own what's happening in the situation, that my kids have to pee and they've been shut in a room for a while. So that is it for this module. Please make sure to go through the workbook, do the reflective journaling questions. You'll have the framework in there, so if you need to save that somewhere, you totally can. And also, there's some next actionable steps for you to take. But all that good stuff, share too. If you have been owning opportunity, or you want to put it into practice somewhere, share that in our Facebook group. Of course, it's a safe community where you can be open and talk about your experiences. You can just hear the kids screaming, but it is what it is. But yes, so please, connect with everyone in there and with me in there as well. I will see you, oh my gosh, in the next phase. I'm super pumped. So after this module, just like in the last phase, after this, there's going to be the next thing that unlocks, and basically you just have to go in there, you're going to reflect on what you've learned and how much you've grown, answer just a few questions, and then once that's done, you unlock phase 3, and we get to talk about self-ownership, which is very exciting, very empowering, and then you get to move into module 7, which is up-leveling identity. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped. I cannot wait to see you in there, and I'm sending you much love. See you soon.